Hi everyone, welcome. Happy World Fringe Day.
Happy World Fringe Day!
You too.
We've got Rose from Hamilton Fringe, and we've got Emily, who is what do you call yourself, a producer or a director, or what do you do?
It's so weird because I wear so many different hats, but for the most part, I'm a venue and house manager. In San Diego Fringe, I'm the logistics manager there, and I help them out with that.
Yeah, and you travel to quite a lot of Fringe festivals, don't you?
I try. For the last 3 summers, 3 years, I have. I've kind of slowed down a little bit because of day jobs and finances. But yeah, I wanted to go out and meet the Fringe world, and the only way to do that is go to where they are. So, yeah.
Right.
Well done.
Right. Rose, can you tell us a little bit about Hamilton Fringe?
Absolutely. So the Hamilton Fringe is from Ontario, Canada, and we are entering our 15th year this year. We actually open next Thursday, so we're just pre-festival. So things in the office are very exciting, very busy right now. We have some new things for the festival this year that we're really excited about. So we have 53 participating companies, over 350 performances over the 11 days. And we have a new outdoor fringe club as well. So like a Fringe 10 at some other fringes, is a licensed area with a lot of free programming as well. So exciting things are happening, a little bit busy, but we're super, thrilled and looking forward to the whole thing.
And how long has the Hamilton Fringe been going?
So the first year was in 2003, so we've been going for 15 years.
Yeah, wow. I didn't know it was that long. And are you part of CAF, or are you separate from what Fringe?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we are involved with the Canadian Association of Fringe Festivals.
Yeah. And we've just been speaking to Jill, so she has told us all about CAF and why it's so special just a minute ago.
Yeah.
Emily, what got you hooked and addicted to Fringe festivals? Because I know that you are.
Yeah. I mean, how could you not? I mean, we all are, you know. What got me into it was a friend of mine who's a playwright from Boston. We had a theater company together, and we did Edmonton years and years ago. Wrong. That's a whole story. But we loved the format of it and loved seeing people from all over perform and do their thing. And then I took some years later off of Fringe. I was trying to figure out where I fit in theater, and friends of mine had suggested I go to Hawaii. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to Hawaii, I want to see Hawaii, what actual Hawaiians do, and I don't want to do anything touristy. I was like, I want to see what the theater's like. And remembering I had done Edmonton years before, I was like, I wonder if Hawaii had a Fringe, specifically Oahu. Turns out they did, and I messaged Misa and was like, hey, I want to help out. I want to do this. This is awesome. Misa, who did not think I was coming, I found out later, was like, sure, fine, whatever. And then it was great, and that kind of built me back into the Fringe community and realized that this is something that I absolutely want to keep doing. And then went from there to DC, and then my home Fringe in New York, because I was living in New York at the time, and then one kind of went after the other. And it's turned into something I absolutely love, and I want to keep doing and help supporting artists any way I can.
Yeah, totally. And look who's just joined us. Woo! Hello, Akim. It's Akim from Buffer Fringe in Cyprus. So
I made it.
Yeah, well done.
Sorry about the
Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome. While you're here, why don't you tell us all about your Fringe festival?
Well, first I want to tell you congratulations for switching platforms suddenly. That put me in a shuffle, and I'm sure you too.
It's been a bit of a testing afternoon.
Yes, to say the least. Operating like all these nations from across the globe, and then technical issues. The Fringe Festival, yes, our Cyprus Fringe Festival. Maybe I should start with maybe I should say that it's my first year. It's the first year for me as artistic director, so I'm new to Fringe. I know of Fringe, but I'm new to Fringe in Cyprus. And what sets us a little bit apart from other Fringe festivals is we're called the Buffer Fringe, which is because it's in the buffer zone, in the United Nations buffer zone, actually in Cyprus. Because Cyprus is, we have the green line that is a kind of a border, an open border between the two major communities in Cyprus, the Turkish Cypriot community and the Greek Cypriot community. So what initially, before I came to the Fringe, what started a Fringe is our home, which is called the Home for Cooperation in Cyprus. And they're situated actually in the buffer zone. And the idea was, what can art do, or what could a festival do to begin the talks between two different communities? So we're coming very much from a peace building, good spirit building between different communities. Greek Cypriots, Turkish Cypriots, but also Maronites, Latins, and Armenians are also big groups in Cyprus.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you've got a really kind of specific reason for starting your festival.
Yes, it's really, I mean, it's not really just, to create this open atmosphere for performing arts festival, to instill the performing arts with like a new dynamic, pushing the boundaries, pushing the envelope of different disciplines, how we can meet as different artists, but really also how the community can come to the table. And that has also, I think, made us strong, because in the fifth year now, people realize the efforts of the Home for Cooperation as an institution, but also the Home for Cooperation says that now the Fringe is actually our biggest operating element for the Home for Cooperation. So due to the success, and we are small, we're not, we're talking about 10 to 15 performances over the course of 3-4 days, but it has helped to also invite different people to the table, and it has also shown the greater community in Cyprus what art can do, art in general, in terms of stimulating a civil society, making civil society stronger, putting some peace-building initiatives forward. So there's a lot that's been going on, and it's nice to see the success of where politics sometimes falls short, what art can do, especially in Cyprus. So that's kind of our twist. I can tell a little bit more later, but I didn't want to go on for too long before you.
That's good. And okay, so Rose, in Hamilton, how does Hamilton as a town kind of embrace your festival?
The Fringe in Hamilton is a really central part of the theater community here. So we're about 45 minutes away from Toronto, which is obviously a very large metropolis that is very saturated with theater, but there is a very kind of a strong identity of Hamilton theater that happens in the city as well. So the Fringe for Hamilton artists is kind of like Christmas, everyone says, because there's so much activity during a short period of time. People are really excited about it. And I think has been a great place for young artists who are from Hamilton to kind of get their feet wet, try out new things, practice producing. So that's what I think is really, really great about Hamilton Fringe in particular.
And how do you support artists coming to Hamilton Fringe? Yeah,
so we do everything we can to make their festival experiences as kind of easy and as stress-free as possible. So we do offer as many workshops as we can about the producing process, whether that's marketing and publicity to tech, theater to box office, to try to help educate artists as they're maybe putting on their first show. And then we also really try to create just a really great community around the Fringe. So this year, like I was saying, we have our new Outdoor Fringe Club, which we've had in past years, but it has been housed at a venue not kind of self-sufficient and outdoors. But we really hope that can be like a hub for artists where they can come and chat with each other and meet people from Hamilton that they don't know already, or from different cities or different countries, and really start to create a community around that's supportive and inclusive and really kind of lifts everyone up.
Yeah, totally. And Emily, you touched on the reason why you do what you do as a kind of traveling theatre manager, technician, and everything above. And you mentioned about you do it because you want to help the artists. And what is it specifically that you think Fringe does to help them?
I think Fringe gives them a platform that they may not have within their own communities necessarily, within communities that they've worked in before. I think that Fringe gives them the freedom to try things at low cost to themselves and to the artists. And I think that it gives them a chance to express themselves in ways that they may not have even thought of. I've talked to Fringe artists who've done a show in one place, and somebody else in one of the videos has talked about this already, that artists have done shows in one place, and by the time you see the show way later, it's very different. because it gives them chances to experience other things and add things into the show, and depending on the subject, and expand. So it helps people grow as artists as well as showing what they already have. And I think that's fantastic and fascinating. So.
Yeah, totally. Akim, in Cyprus, you said that you're quite new to Fringe festivals. So what was it that you were doing and what drew you to this one?
Okay, but basically I'm a director, theater director myself, doing performance art myself, but coming also from a bit of a visual artist background. So it was always my thing in my art to bring together visual arts, performative arts, art on stage, sound, different multimedia, cross-media. It was always my thing. I was never satisfied with just theater or just dance or just sound installation. I always wanted to mix things. So I've started, 10, 12 years ago to really get into performance art, mixing things. But then I was approached by the Home for Corporation, and it kind of made sense. Actually, it brought together two different things. First of all, I loved the idea of Fringe when I was asked about the artistic direction, or when they selected me, or when they asked me, what would I want to bring to Fringe? And I thought, what I really love is two things. One is I love the interdisciplinary nature and pushing the envelope, and for artists to really be able to experiment and play with forms that are not accepted or that are not really, things that have not really been done yet, to challenge the idea of interactivity. What is the audience? What is the performer? All these beautiful things that you can really push the envelope. But secondly, what I love about the Fringe also, and what I like in my role in it, I like this, and it has to do with Cyprus a bit too, but I like the role of the arts as a political entity also, to make an impact when it comes to, in socio-political terms. And I think, especially in our world that we're living now, it's really glaring, the things that are not really working. And I think the art can contribute a lot to this can bring a lot of discussion to the table in socio-political terms. And we actually, this year, for the first time, we started a theme. We have a festival theme, and it's called Breaking Points. And Breaking Point can be a very personal theme, can be about society, can be a very global theme, very political. So you can take it as political as you want to, as personal, a death in the family, as much as you want to keep it large or small. But it has helped us, this idea of Breaking Point, to give a theme. We had actually an overwhelming amount of applications this year. I'm not sure whether it, in terms of sharing experience, whether that has to do with a theme, but I think it also has to do with our times. We had 300 applications for a small island, a lot of international applications, and we have only such few spots. But it was great because it also, the work is quite politically driven, quite socially active, quite inviting to the audience, and how you can bring the audience into pieces and things like that. So yeah.
Well,
that's how I think.
Welcome to the Fringe family. You will see, if you watch the videos, you will see you now have a massive global family to speak to, call on when you need advice or help or anything like that. So that's great. And you're right about the political thing. It's come up a couple of times. And because you have kind of quite a lot of unjuried or open access, or just the ability to be able to apply freely, is that the Fringe Festival art and performance can react to social surroundings, political things very, very quickly, and a lot quicker than perhaps other.
Without the mouthpiece.
Yeah. Freedom of speech. That's what it's all about.
How do you call this in English? Without the muscle, what do you call that in English?
Muzzle. Oh, the muzzle. The muzzles are off in Fringe.
Exactly.
So before we go, I want to just ask you all to kind of give us a couple of reasons. You've actually quite touched on this already, but why you think fringes why are they important to you? Rose, go ahead.
Yeah, to me, it gives artists who come from maybe different walks of life or marginalized voices a chance to tell their story in a way that's authentic to them. And in Hamilton, I think the Fringe is really important because it's a way that connects artists to community.
Yeah. Emily?
She kind of grabbed a lot of mine. I love the fact that it gives people a voice who might not necessarily have one, even in the artistic community as a whole. It is really important to get voices out because that's how stories continue and communication happens and society as a whole functions, is giving those voices to people that do not have them. And I think that Fringe is integral in that.
Yeah, completely. Back in Cyprus, what do you think?
I think it goes a little bit what I said, but I can only agree with this marginalized voices, marginalized topics. I find very exciting. But what I really find also exciting is the idea of questioning an established narrative. And that goes for society, and it goes for politics, but to all these narratives that are going on that we're so easily grew accustomed to. I think Fringe has really the potential in theater as a critical aesthetic dialogue, but also in terms of a society, in terms of content. So I think both, it's like questioning the established narrative and questioning the established thinking patterns in general, also of the artists, audience and artists.
Yeah, totally. Well, wishing you all a happy Fringe. I feel like I have to do this. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
We want to continue. This was so short.
And happy World Fringe Day, and thank you very much.
We will see you at the conference.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. We'll see you soon. Yeah, we'll see you there. All right, thank you so much. Happy World.
Bye-bye.